Elvina here again. I'm going to show you another blending brush technique. This one will be using stencils or templates, however you want to call it. This one is a template I've made myself. I just cut an oval out of a piece of cardstock. This is the piece of cardstock, and then I've put it on top of my card because I'm going to want this to be a little background on my card. So now I'll just show you how I use that, and then we'll do some other projects too real quick just to show you how you can use your brushes. Okay, I have some Calypso coral, and I'm going to again kind of rub in a circle on the ink pad, and then because I'm starting in the middle of the card, I don't want to have a big blob right in the middle, so I'm going to kind of test it on my paper, rub it a little bit, and I'm going to have a very light touch. So I hold it back here. I'm not pressing down here. I'm going to hold it back here with a very light touch and go across because I don't want it to be too dark, my sky up here. Okay, so then as the color's getting on there, I'm going to press a little bit harder, kind of a circular motion, but back and forth, because this is just a small area that I'm using. Okay, and then I want to kind of blend it into the yellow so that there's not a real defined line there. And there we go. Then when you're all done, whoops, looks like it needs a little bit more up at the top here. Then when you're all done, we just take your template off. Let me lift this off. And there we go. We've got a nice scenery. And so scenery spot. So this is actually what I did with it. Here, let me get the card in front, sorry. There's the oval, and then I stamped on it and added a few grasses. Okay, very much similar to the card I did where I did a whole background. The whole background. But this, sometimes you just want an accent spot. So that's what I did here. Okay, and again, another way to do it would be just to have large post-it note or paper on either side, and then color. This has 3 different greens. I think garden green, shaded spruce, and I forget, maybe granny apple. I'm not sure what I added for the other one. And then there's an edge, and then you can stamp there or not, however you want to do it, just to put an accent on a card. That's using a template. Okay, a couple other templates here. Let me show you. I actually die cut some leaves because I wanted some leaves for a card. So first of all, I actually sponged different colors on my paper and then cut out the leaves. So they're different shades of green. But then the white was just too bland in the background, so I took my cutout piece and laid it down and sponged over it. This one I had to be really careful. I was using something that's current. I didn't have too many current dyes that were working for this idea. I had to be careful because I didn't want these extra stems in there. So I just laid it different places, and then I sponged with different colors of green. As you can see, there's some different shades of green on here. So just another way to make your own template. Okay. Now, this would be another thing you could do. I'm going to get my ink here. And this is one of our dies. This is the polka dot die. And so I put it with the cutting side down towards my paper. And I've attached my paper with some washi tape. I'm going to lay it down here. And then I'm just going to color on top. Oops, I got a crumb in my, get that off of there. Okay, I'm going to get some ink here. And then just rub on here, just like you would on any other kind of a stencil. Okay, I'm just going to get a nice background. Again, get some more ink. And if you wanted it to be light in some areas and dark in some areas, you could go lighter and darker, totally up to you. But what's nice about the metal die cuts is they're very washable. All you got to do is just run them under the faucet and rinse the ink off when you're done. and then you've used them to get a nice little background. Let me see if I can get down to the bottom here. Kind of want to do the whole thing if I can, so I've got a nice little background for something. And then I'll show you a card. Okay, so now let me just carefully peel it off. Oh, there we go. We got our polka dot background. Just easy. Okay, now I'm going to put this where I won't get it over everything. I'll get that out of the way. And let me show you my sample. This time I used red and made a red polka dot background for my ladybugs. So just really easy way to do a layer, a background using your dies. Okay, now Stampin' Up! Also sells stencils, and I don't happen to have any of the current ones. But once again, you do the same thing. I'm sticking it down with some washi tape and to hold it in place, because that's the one thing you don't want it to do is to move when you're using a stencil. So let me lay this here. And this time, I'm doing it kind of, oh, what do you call it? Graduate, let's see, I gotta get the right, here, I'm just gonna use this, the one I used before, and rub off a little bit of the Cajun. I've got Flirty Flamingo. And what I mean is, okay, you can go from dark to light or light to dark. Like you maybe don't want it to be all dark pink. So I'm going to get some pink on here. And I think I'll start at the bottom and I'll start kind of dark. So you just kind of rub it on here. Oh yeah, that's nice and dark. Okay. And then I'm going to move up and it'll get lighter as I go to the top. Okay. On it nice and dark at the bottom. And again, I'm trying not to get too much ink on my fingers, because when I'm working at home, I can just run in the laundry room and wash my hands off. But in front of the little camera here, I don't want to run away just to wash my hands off. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit more to get it just a little bit more, a little bit darker on the bottom here. So there's a real obvious difference. And it's getting a little lighter and a little lighter as we go up to the top. Okay, so now let me peel this off so you can see this one. Ooh, there, isn't that pretty? And it goes dark to light. You could do it all. You could all be dark and it could all be light. That's totally up to you, whatever you want to do. But or it could be dark here, light here, dark here, light here. You know, that's the joy of it. You can do it however you want. So here's a sample card that I did, and again I went darker to lighter and just use the one color. I think it's Calypso Coral. Okay, so that's another one using our stencils. And then I talked about, let me get this over here without losing it, using our dies. So I just want to show you, I used the sunflower die, and I have the tape here just to hold that in place so I wouldn't have to find. I used the sunflower die and I sponged over it with Mango Melody and Daffodil Yellow. Okay, so the mango is the darker and the yellow is the lighter. But I didn't really like what it left. I could cut that out and put it on a card, I suppose, but I didn't really care for it. So you need to experiment, try some of your different dies and see what you like, what you don't like. But I had cut something out, so then I tried it on this side with the cut out piece. So I just held this down with my fingers and I sponged. And again, mango kind of in the center and daffodil on the outside. And then I get a look like this. I thought, well, that's not too bad. And then I could just cut that out and add it to a card if I wanted. I'll probably sponge that in. But experiment with your dies and with the cutouts from the dies and see what you like. You'll get all kinds of templates that way. Okay, and then, just a second, sorry. Let me find one more. Okay. Now, this is kind of like what we do have in the catalog right now. We do have some flowers that you can do the flower in one color and do the leaves in another color. So I'm just going to do this butterfly. So let's say you want to do that on the front of a card. And let me get some. Let's see, what did I pick? Oh, this is So Saffron, I believe. Okay, so let me get some ink on there. And I forgot, I need to really tape this down so that I don't move it. Find the edge of my tape. This one, I'm sorry, I'm just winging this as I go on this one. So I'm going to center that butterfly there. This is just like a little note card. And I stick this one down. Oops, wrong side. And we're going to fill in. But first, we're going to use the So Saffron. And just get a bunch of color here. And you do want to be careful. Now, since I have card there, I don't want to get ink on that. Wouldn't hurt to block that off, either with tape or Post-it note. I'll get a little more ink on here. Not doing a real dark background. So, again, I start out light. When you don't know, when you can't rub off from the edge, it's good to start out with a light touch and then see how dark you want to get it. Okay, so there's the butterfly. Now, let me pick this up and move it so that this butterfly is in the center. Okay. And I want to hold, let's see, not as much place to hold it here. Put it like that and like that. See if we can hold it in place. And then I'm going to pick a little bit darker ink. I've got pumpkin pie over here. So since that's kind of in the same color family, I'm just going to rub this off a little bit here and then just go to the pumpkin pie with my brush. As I explained in that other video, you can use your different colors on the same brush if you're careful. Okay, so now let's go with the pumpkin. Let's see, I can't wait. I think this is going to be cool. Whoops. I already see I should have marked that off because I accidentally got over the edge. Or what I should have done is used the small brush. Let me try it with the small brush. You have a little more control with the small brush. And then I wouldn't have gone off the edge. So, but you know, mistakes are just an opportunity to be creative. So what I'll have to do, okay, now let's take this off so you can see what it looks like. What I'll have to do is find something to cover that up. Okay. Well, I went off on both sides. Okay, I didn't do that so good. But isn't that cool? That is really just kind of cool when you have the two layers like that. And so in our big catalog, we have plaids, stencils. And in the holiday one, there's flowers. So, yeah, look up the stencils because they're kind of fun to do too. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope this helps you use your blending brushes. And again, remember, all you need to do is wash them under water to clean them off when you're all done. Okay, thanks. And then store them in a cup, or we have a nice blending brush holder you can get too. Thanks for looking. Bye.